Maybe we do have a grader.
Okay.
Maybe we do have a grader.
Nice.
Nutmeg. And cinnamon, and then honey. Cinnamon. Cinnamon. Where did I put the cinnamon? Cool. Let me know if you have any questions or about anything.
Well,
So,
to be fair, I did not remember what is. I don't remember Thanksgiving. What is for? Is
it was for in the colonial times of the early Americas when the colonists would throw a big feast in conjunction with the Native Americans to celebrate a good harvest and just a good year in general. So they picked
okay?
that time to have a feast and give thanks.
Oh, okay. Nice. Cool.
Using your learning engine, Method Maker. So, we're talking about the next step that you take when analyzing thoughts. So after
You
you're
don't want to
curious,
overmix
after you've
any
perceived a
potato
lot,
products
after you've thought a lot, and after
because
you
potatoes
formed
have
groups,
gluten,
this is what you
and if
do
you
next.
develop the gluten, you'll get chewy food instead of light and fluffy food.
Methods are kind of like heuristics, but they are step by step. While a heuristic for Enlighten may include or be something like
You can use
click
egg as a
on the
binding agent.
clusters of lights to
Also add some
reduce the
protein
lights on
into the
the
mix.
board to help you
Oh,
solve. A method is
But you always
something
taste it before you put the egg in.
that is
okay. Let's see if I can crack
Yeah.
some enlightenment puzzle while looking at you cooking.
Nice.
Inspire me.
Okay, so there's salt. So, sweetness. Hmm.
What?
Oh, vanilla extract. Oh, yeah. You have to drop the link and then maybe stream it straight through Discord.
What?
For Enlighten, you might have to drop the link
Yeah.
and have like stream it straight through Discord in addition. Because right now I'm away from my PC, so I can't
Oh,
multitask and watch both.
okay, no problem. I can do both. maybe. Yeah, it's done.
Nice. Ooh. Hmm.
Well, I had a question about alignment, a stupid one. When going through the quizzes, there was a question about my options about music were if I pushed the music and something like this to be happy
Oh
when
yeah.
I win. But if I click the option button, doesn't do nothing on my version. I think it is a bug.
The option on the bottom? Oh, you mean the option menu up here?
Yeah,
Or in the quizzes?
no, I think up here.
So the full screen only works at the very start of the game. You can toggle the background music by hitting F4.
Okay.
I don't even know what's under save options. What do you got under there?
I don't
Uh,
know.
okay, so save no cloud data, delete local, delete load local. Interesting. Those are the two.
Okay. Cool to know. Okay.
Yeah. So the sweet potatoes right now,
uh,
the high register in terms of the sweetness. Um, a little bit higher in the vanilla. It could be earthier, which will be with salt. I added some nutmeg to bring out more of the earthiness. And I don't want to add anything else. I'm fine with everything else. It's just Marcus posted some questions for people to, but you can answer them at any time. It's just watching a video about chess and making some comparisons to your experience playing Enlighten
the daily. You're talking about the daily challenge.
today. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I look at it and they are very similar to be fair because I wrote some answer before. Is I, well, there is that the player is seeing is not seeing only the current status of some pieces, maybe what you want to do, but is looking on whole the board, is able to make a priority list of what is most important to do and what is less important to do, is able to see everything interconnected somehow. So if I
Mhm.
do this move, I will impact the actual state and the move after this one in a way that is different if I do another move. So instead,
Mhm.
when you play Enlighten at the first time, like I'm doing me right now, maybe you have more of a focus view, only a few things, and this is like playing chess and don't and don't give importance to the pawn, for example, because the pawn are the weakest element. Instead, the player says something. I look at every piece at the same level because they are pieces, and it's something like when you look at the board. In enlightenment, but you give more importance to the cursor than to the board, and or you give more importance to the light than there is, instead of looking also at the shutdown light, and so it's it's maybe the same approach, but you have a different system to analyze.
Mhm. Very good.
Also, there are some minor things. For example, another things I wrote down is that the master player is telling at one moment they say, I don't know why my enemy does this move. Maybe it was confused by my last move and it doesn't know what to do. It does not do
Mhm.
know what to do. um, and he says something like, when this happens, you have to stop a moment and try to understand what your enemy is trying to go for. And it's something very similar to Richard when you are clicking at a certain pace and then you slow down and Richard tells you, hey, you slow down, what happens, want to make a note?
Yeah. 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 He does that.
It's very basic, but this I think are the most uh, uh, is there something that it's something like the same feeling or the same type of mind you have to adapt for this type of challenges?
Mhm. I'm gonna check on something real quick. Wait, I'll be back.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
I got a few calls going on, but I'll chat with you guys for a bit. Now it's too hot in here. I need some cool air going.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What? This side I accidentally sliced open. So dumb. So like they have like a cut here, you cut there, and the bag's still like sealed up. They want you to macho rip it from there. And I was just like, I'll cut it from here.
Is that all the butter you didn't need?
Need this?
What happened?
No. I have to mix it, but I gotta mix this first.
Shall you start from? Shall you start from?
There's light or dark right here.
I think most of the recipes said light.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll go with light.
Cool. Brooklyn girls. It's like the nanny. So I'll try to open up some games later that people can kind of just play. We'll see how late that goes, but I'll be popping in later in the day. And nice?
Yeah.
That's great. That's how much you read?
No. The whole one.
I've used like a single nutmeg for 4 years. Where I only use it for like this every year. And then I accidentally bought 2 stupid bottles of the stuff.
We have 2.
So you can give this one to your sister.
Cool. Except she can't cut it.
You could either use a microplane grater like you have, or just a serrated knife. Or a serrated knife, that's what I do. It's for having, not for cooking with, apparently. I have a half cup and a third cup. The other ones are in the drawer.
Third cup?
That's the third cup. The other ones are in the drawer.
I grabbed you. Third cup. And worship. I don't even need a whole cup.
It's amazing how flour absorbs this much moisture. What are you trying to do to me, flour? Get to my body? Make it hard for me to get rid of you once I put you into my body? Harold. I always thought it was weird to have a Harold and a Gerald. Oven temperature? What? What's that little blue jar? Blue jar with a white top?
White top?
Probably down there.
Oh, you mean the yellow one?
The yellow with blue.
Okay. I was like, you probably
I said random words.
fine.
Yeah, you're making great progress, Lori. Do we have our spatula?
What? Yeah,
Well, you need it right now?
Just scoop this out.
it's
It's the only thing I forgot to
Oh, cool.
I forgot it in my When I came back, I was like, crap, it's still in the sink. This is a fourth teaspoon?
The green one is the fourth.
Oh, God.
It,
Fourth?
is that cinnamon?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a cinnamon flavored thing instead of buying the cinnamon thing. And the scoop is deceptive.
The what?
The scoop. a lot less goes into that thing than you think.
I realized that. I'm like, but I'm also, oh my god.
Cinnamon challenge? Right now?
That's what I wanted. Yes. I wanted to inhale.
So, yeah, the lectures in the game go from some pretty basic low-level stuff to what I think would be some pretty high-level stuff. So at some point in there, like, bound to stop clicking and stop making as much sense and stop sounding as familiar as it normally does.
Okay.
Practically just put this back on the shelf. That's up to you. Oops. Forgot you guys couldn't even see me.
Oh, Master Chef is back.
The other hand, you take the crumble and we crumble. So 350 for 25 minutes and check it. We'll sit down for a bit.
Can you just throw that stuff in the sink that you're not?
Um, I'm gonna pop back and forth. Talk to you in a bit, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
You know that stuff, Dave?
Okay.
using your learning engine, Method Maker. So, we're talking about the next step that you take when analyzing thoughts. So, after you're curious, after you perceived a lot, after you've thought a lot, and after you form groups, this is what you do next. Methods are kind of like heuristics, but they are step by step. While a heuristic for Enlighten may include or be something like click on the clusters of lights to reduce the lights on the board to help you solve, a method is something very specific that is process oriented. So with a method, you'd hear something like step 1, click all the lights if you identify a corner pattern. Step 2, if you see any cross patterns, click those second, and so on and so forth. So whether the method is actually good for helping you solve the puzzle or do anything else, the structure of putting steps in order is really what differentiates methods from heuristics. Use Methods are kind of like heuristics, but they are step by step. While a heuristic for Enlighten may include or be something like click on the clusters of lights to reduce the lights on the board to help you solve, a method is something very specific that is process oriented. So with a method, you'd hear something like step 1, click all the lights if you identify a corner pattern. Step 2, if you see any cross patterns, click those second, and so on and so forth. So whether the method is actually good for helping you solve the puzzle or do anything else, the structure of putting steps in order is really what differentiates methods from heuristics. You methods are kind of like heuristics, but they are step by step. While a heuristic for Enlighten may include or be something like click on the clusters of lights to reduce the lights on the board to help you solve, a method is something very specific that is process oriented. So with a method, you'd hear something like step 1, click all the lights if you identify a corner pattern. Step 2, if you see any cross patterns, click those second, and so on and so forth. So whether the method is actually good for helping you solve the puzzle or do anything else, the structure of putting steps in order is really what differentiates methods from heuristics. So there are different ways to limit the methods that you create when learning. Um, just like with dots, if you don't write your method down, if you never write it down, you could be using a method or kind of using a method for years and years and years. But if you never actually stop to write it down, to explain it in very clear step-by-step instructions, that's a real good. So there are different ways to limit the. So there are different ways to limit the methods. So there are different ways to limit the methods that you create when learning. Um, just like with dots, if you don't write your method down, if you never write it down, you could be using a method or kind of using a method for years and years and years. But if you never actually stop to write it down, to explain it in very clear step-by-step instructions, that's a real good way to limit the kinds of methods that you can create, the kinds of methods that you use, because at some point you just have to get things out of your head in order to free up some space. And if you never do that, you are limiting yourself based on the natural limitations of human learning and the human brain. So likewise, if you never review your method, if you never modify a step every now and then, if you're never able to really just clearly see the steps that you're doing and sort of understand why each step is where it is, those are perfect ways to limit the kinds of methods and the range of methods that you can develop. With the Descartes system and the knowledge part of the Descartes system, it's broken down into 6 smaller parts. Long-term memory, short-term memory or working memory, things like muscle memory, your ability to code and decode information, that's the ability to, package information up or to encode it in a way that helps your brain remember it better. Your ability to keep track of multiple things at once, that's channels. And finally, the ability to analyze information. That is where we want to put a lot of our focus on right now. With the Descartes system and the knowledge part of the Descartes system, it's broken down into 6 smaller parts. Long-term memory, short-term memory or working memory, things like muscle memory, your ability to code and decode information, that's the ability to, package information up or to encode it in a way that helps your brain remember it better. Your ability to keep track of multiple things at once, that's channels. And finally, the ability to analyze information. That is where we want to put a lot of our focus on right now. So really, you can break down just that analyze portion into these 6 steps, and these 6 categories, if you will, are from Bloom's taxonomy. And the lower part of the pyramid is generally less difficult to do than the upper part, but these are all words that are about analyzing information. They're about processing information and doing more with the information to do more and more impressive things and to develop more and more skill. So, on the very basic level, remembering things is a skill, it's part of learning, and it makes up the base of this pyramid like structure. Defining, duplicating, listing things, memorizing things, repeating, so on and so forth. The next level is to understand things. It's your ability to describe it, or to discuss it, or to explain it. One more step up, your ability to apply information. That is to execute something. So if somebody gives you a set of instructions or some heuristics, your ability to actually apply those to the actual activity is harder than your ability to just understand it or remember what they said. Using the application, you can solve things, you can demonstrate things, you can interpret or operate or sketch things out. It's really a higher level of analysis, a higher level of mental processing than the other two. But once we get past apply, the top 3 are pretty much all equally complex. If you can analyze information, you can draw connections among ideas, you can differentiate 2 different things, you can organize things, you can compare and contrast. And we saw a lot of this with forming groups. And when you form a group, your ability to form similar groups or an opposite group, to sort the puzzles and enlighten to different categories, that is all stressing a higher level of ability than just memorizing a solution or anything like that. And beyond that, evaluate your ability to appraise or argue or defend or judge or select something. That's a higher level of analysis. And finally, create your ability to design or assemble or construct, your ability to make puzzles and enlighten, your ability to add these puzzles to the level select and to incorporate that into your overall learning experience. That requires more of a learner than any of the first 3 steps. So knowing that the top 3 of the pyramid are much harder and showcase much more skill, they require much more knowledge and more precise uses of that knowledge than the first 3 steps, kind of gives us a really easy way to understand what happens when people analyze information. And if you can do all 6, you have all the power in the world. If you can only do a few, probably the few at the bottom, then you'll notice a difference. And part of the goal of Enlighten is to help you think about these things a little bit more clearly and to give you the tools and the ability to master the entire spectrum.
I'll go away. I'll be back later.